We finally have the date for the second Nintendo Direct for Kirby Air Riders, and Nick, it's over an hour long. What? What? Why is it? Or not maybe over an hour, around an hour. Why is it an hour, Nick? What's going on here?
So to simply put it, it's an hour because of Sakurai, right? Like this guy could talk about, and this guy could talk about probably, I don't know, the left analog stick on the Switch 2 for probably like an hour or two, right? Like this guy can talk us for hours upon hours on whatever he's presenting at the time. So that's the thing, that's what gets me a little nervous about this. Like, is he just going to be talking about so like these minute things that we don't really care about, or is he actually going to be showing off so many new things that he needs this full hour to showcase a bunch of brand new stuff for the game?
That is the question and the concern. Because, Nick, I'll be honest with you. I don't think you even needed 45 minutes for the first Direct that he showed this game off, right? And so the fear is this going to be another Mario Kart World Direct where it's just all more of the same stuff we already know? I'm hopeful and optimistic that won't quite be the case, but I still think it might be to some degree. But here's why I feel a little bit more optimistic in this case. And I want to be clear, I'm excited for this game. So
yeah, me too.
So yeah, it's just that also I like, not having my time wasted.
Exactly.
Unlike what we may be doing right now for everyone else. But putting that aside, they did tease in the previous Direct something at the end, like this mysterious figure riding on a motorcycle. Actually, it was funny. So yeah, well, real quick, he's like wrapped in bandages or something, and he's riding across the desert. And it reminded me of something. It reminded me of that scene from the Smash Brothers Brawl reveal where Wario is on a motorcycle in the desert. So, like, are they related? Probably not. But it does make me wonder, what the heck was that scene about, Nick? Why, like, do you think we're going to get the answer to what that scene was about in this Direct?
I think so, right? Like this is the last Direct, or the last time they're going to showcase the game before it comes out, and almost like 3 or 4 weeks from now. Like the game is coming out very, very soon. And again, I made a short on it, and I compared the file size between I think Mario Kart World and Kirby Air Riders, because you're going to see it on the eShop for Kirby Air Riders, how big it's going to be. And I think it's roughly around, if not a little bit larger, than Mario Kart World. So that just makes me think that there's got to be like a story mode here or something, right? If it's bigger than Mario Kart World, and Mario Kart World is pretty big, it's like, oh, come on, there has to be a story mode or something that they're hiding for us.
Either that or the most unoptimized game of all time. Like, they're using like ridiculously high-res textures for city trial or whatever. But yeah, there has to be more, right? And I think the hour-long presentation is indicative of that, because there's no way we're going to see Sakurai just play through like 3 more city trials, right? Like, I feel like he got that out of the system, hopefully, in the last one. But I do hope that, maybe there's even more to that mode. So yeah, clearly there's more to this game, and that's why I also wanted to bring in the chat for this. We're doing this as a live stream in case we run this as a video later. So we got the chat here, so chat, let us know your ideas as we go through this as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts. But yeah, the thing is, I think there's definitely more. I mean, there's obviously more to this game. They've already teased, that character, and it's my gut reaction to that is that there's some kind of story mode this time. So the first game had like 3 different modes, none of which were really any kind of story-based thing, and I'm thinking this game's going to be different in that regard, and I think that's what he was teasing. Now, there's always a chance he's just another character, but given the mystery surrounding him and the fact that, as far as I'm aware, we've never seen him before, like, it would be weird to throw in a random character without some kind of context surrounding it. Like, take Smash Brothers Brawl, for instance, another Sakurai game, where you had new characters in that game in the form of, what was his name? The main villain, do you remember?
Oh my god, I'm like, chat, help us out with this.
What, Goim or something? Anyways, chat will get it.
Galeem? No, Galeem's from, I think, Ultimate. I think that's Ultimate. Brawl, someone else. Yeah.
Whatever it is. But he exists within this particular context because that it's the whole subspace emissary mode.
Yep.
And so that's why I'm thinking this is going to be another single player portion as well. I mean, maybe there could be a multiplayer component as well, but I think point is there's going to be a story-driven element to this game, which is kind of cool if that's the case, because we've never had that before. Taboo.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Taboo.
Taboo is how you say it.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, chat. I knew you guys would get it. and yeah. So that like, especially with a file size that big, like that indicates to me that actually a couple of things. One, either there is a massive world here. Again, this is purely my speculation. I want to be clear about this. But I'm thinking, look at Mario Kart World. That's a big world. That justifies that file size, right? That makes sense. So either A, there is a giant open world component to this game. They'll like as kind of maybe tease that desert setting. Or B, there's just like a ridiculous amount of pre-rendered cutscenes for some reason.
Yep.
You know, like there's kind of like Smash Brothers Brawl again, where they had tons of cutscenes, and Sakurai, at the time said he's not going to do that again because of all the cutscenes being posted on YouTube. Which I didn't follow the logic of that, but it's been 20 years now. I think he realized, oh, cutscenes still exist in games, even though there are YouTube videos of them too. So this could be like maybe a full circle moment here, where we're finally going to get like a blowout in terms of like a Kirby story in Kirby Air Riders. But I don't know, Nick, what are you kind of thinking here?
I think the latter half. I think we're going to go with a lot of cutscenes, especially that the turnaround for this game compared to Smash in the past is such a short time because we got the announcement of this game back in April or May, and it's already coming out in November. So there wasn't a lot of time to kind of like heighten or give hype to the game or like promote the game, right? So there's not a lot of these character cutscenes that they could have shown or stuff like that. So maybe they're saving all of that for the actual game because you remember the release from Brawl to or I guess from the beginning of Brawl to Smash for Wii U and then Smash for Wii U to Ultimate, like there was a lot of stuff that they would put out on the dojo every single day. It's be like, hey, check this out. Hey, there's a new character. Hey, there's a new cutscene or a new reveal trailer for that character. So I think they're really saving all of that for the final version of the game. Because again, from announcement to release of this game, it was such a short amount of time compared to the previous games he's worked on.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. It was a really quick turnaround. Well, both in terms of the announcement to release and also the game's development itself was on a pretty condensed development cycle, I think, compared to a lot of other games, or even Sakurai's own, because he started, what was it, I guess 3 years ago now, maybe 2 years, maybe a little over 2 years.
The last DLC was Sora for Smash Ultimate. That ended in 2021. I think he came out in like October, September of 2021.
Did he take a year break before start working on it, or maybe not? I can't remember.
The YouTube channel I think started a year or shortly after that. Did he start the YouTube channel in 2022? I can't remember. Chat again, help us out here.
Yeah, the timelines are all COVID threw off all of our understanding of time. In any case, that's still I guess a decent development time for what seemed to be a small game, but that's also again a clue as to why I think there's more here, because Kirby Air Ride, I don't think the original game's development was anywhere near that long. Again, I don't know the exact timeline, but in any case, I'm thinking this has been long enough, even if it's been abbreviated, that there's more going on here than meets the eye.
Yeah,
and I think so. Yeah, I think there could be an epic story mode, which makes me also wonder. Again, that desert setting I think has to be a clue to something. Though I say this knowing in Brawl it didn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
With a Wario bike, but I do wonder if like it's hinting at maybe more open environments. I don't think they're going to go full open world or anything, but given the nature of City Trial, it does make me wonder there might be like other areas like that in the story mode, where you do have like these larger arenas that you are, battling or doing some kind of objective.
So do you think if that's the case, do you think there's different types of city trials? Like, or is city trial going to be the only one that we go to, especially I guess in multiplayer? But if we do single player, are there going to be city trial like maps that we battle in?
That's what I'm thinking.
In the story mode. Like, I don't know, because again, they're in the cloud, so they can have a million of these things just scattered around the world.
Totally. I mean, I think it's entirely possible that they could make a bunch of like city trial like environments without going as detailed as city trial does, which is why they may not be multiplayer maps. Unless they pop up in like some of the challenges or whatever. But yeah, I think that's entirely possible. You got like, I don't know, stadium settings or the desert setting where like mountains form the barriers, who knows what. And I think that'd be neat, because I'm having trouble envisioning a story mode focused purely around racing, right? Like, what all can you do with that? And that's why I think that this would open the door to, expanding the type of gameplay. Like, City Trial already experiments with more gameplay types. You have, of course, City Trial itself. You have all the challenges, including battle arenas, races, flying challenges, tons more. I can't remember them all. There's plenty of them. Oh, Connor says, add bosses to it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this guy, that character we've seen, I'm pretty sure is probably a boss. He's either a boss or a helper character. Like maybe someone that, like a mysterious, like Sheik-like figure, right? Who ends up helping you. One of the two, which I realize is all it could be probably, but still. Actually, that's a good one, Nick. What do you think? Yeah, sorry, go ahead, actually. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, go with what you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, well, is that character, do you think they're an enemy or could they be friendly?
I think it's going to be a rival character, someone like maybe a Meta Knight situation, and then you fight him in story mode, and maybe this is the way you unlock more characters, because they did show us a lot of characters right off the bat with the game, and I think we have around, 16 different characters, so I think there's going to be a lot more than that we're going to be able to unlock. Maybe like 20 to 30 different characters we'll have here, and a ton of different vehicles that we'll be unlocking. But like going back to what you were saying before, Andre, with like, I don't think story mode is just going to be racing, right? Like, I think they're going to have to break it up some way
Yeah.
or shape or form. Like, boss battles is probably another option. City trials is going to be like another thing that we're going to do to fight different enemies. But maybe there is like a third or fourth option that we can have outside of racing and city trial and boss fights. But I don't know what that is. It's not going to be top down mode, because top down mode, them bringing that would be just crazy. But again, like, Sakurai could be like, hey, here's a mini game that you have to do in between these fights or whatever. I don't think it's top down mode.
You say it's crazy, but like, is it? Like, everything else from the original game is basically back so far. That's the one omission, really. Well, that and achievements, I think. Did you confirm achievements yet?
He has not confirmed achievements, but again, it is a Sakurai game, so it'd be crazy if they were here in Smash Ultimate, not in the form of like the board that he's typically done in previous games. Like, I believe the board was in the original Kirby Air Rider. It was in Brawl, I believe. It was in Kid Icarus. So again, he could be having the achievements a little bit different this time around, but I think they're going to be here.
I really hope, I actually really like the grid from the original game.
I do too.
I still think it's my favorite form of Sakurai's achievements, and so I hope it kind of returns largely as is. And I will say, I'm normally not one who like really cares all that much about achievements, especially these days, just because I'm like, I'm done with this game. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
I don't care about the achievements. But I will say Kirby Air Ride, like, it actually incorporated them pretty well. Probably partially because there wasn't like a true single player. So that really was a single player. It was like unlocking all those achievements, right? But what was cool was like on the grid, I guess similar to Smash Brothers in some of them, where like, once you unlock one, it tells you like the challenges around it, so you can try to unlock those too. So it kind of felt like a little bit like Picross as well. Like, you try and fill in the whole grid. It was a really fun game, a really fun idea. So I do hope that they build on that. And I will say, I forget, there's someone commented at me, I forget who it was, but I liked what they said. They were saying their secret hope is that, because this game probably is going to have a similar system to that, and their secret hope is that this will be the door to adding achievements to the Switch 2 in general, or Switch, like part of the OS, right? I don't think it's going to happen, but it actually would be amazing, wouldn't it?
I would love that. Again, I'm a big achievement hunter. I used to be. I think I kind of faded off a few years ago. But if I really love a game on PlayStation, I'm gonna try to do everything so I can get that trophy. Recently I did it for Tekken 8 last year. Trying to think what else I did it for. I did it for Astrobot last year. I loved Astrobot so much that I wanted to see everything. I wanted to play everything, and I got all the achievements. So if Kirby Air Riders is kind of like the gateway for us to get a full-fledged achievement system for the Switch 2, I would be completely on board on it. And again, we're around that time where there's a bunch of price increases with like online services. So maybe this is how Nintendo ties it in. Maybe they say, hey, like we're doing a price increase for NSO. I would not like that at all. But again, for them to kind of have an excuse to raise the price, it would, I guess, make sense. Because they haven't raised the price for NSO since, I want to say, they added the expansion pack. And that's been out for, what, 4 or 5 years now?
Yeah, that sounds about right, I think. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a very long time since we've had any price increase. I'm not talking it into existence, chat. I'm just saying, like, that could be one of the reasons why it's like, hey, we added this to Kirby, we're going to add this to all these other games. So
I mean, we're bringing up another good point, actually, the price in general, right? It's a $70 game. And the original game was not a $70 game. Like,
No.
it couldn't be. Obviously, it wasn't at the time, but it couldn't be these days. It's just too little content. And that, again, alludes to there just being more here. And I do hope that it's more than just a story mode too. Like, we talked about top-down mode maybe being back. You don't think it will be. I think there's a chance it could be. But if it's not, regardless of whether it is or not, I think there's gonna be more happening here. There's like another new mode too, even maybe beyond the story mode. I mean, I don't know what that would be, but I'm hopeful that there's even more, just because. I do wonder like how much this game will appeal to people by itself. Like, Kirby Air Ride is already a pretty niche game,
I agree.
and I don't know if we've seen enough so far to really change that trajectory for it. I love the original. I have some concerns about the new one, which maybe we'll get to later. But I like a lot of what I've seen and played. Even I played a bunch of those at Gamescom, by the way. I have videos I never got around to uploading from me playing. I have like an hour's worth of content I forgot to upload. But yeah, like, another thing is, like, could City Trial be even bigger than we think? Sakurai, I do want to read a comment here we got from Majora Z on Twitter. They say, personally, I really hope that the Skya is the only city trial map is a bit of a fake out. It turns out the island we saw is just one island is Skya. That or we get more city trial maps via post-launch updates. And that's the thing, like, city trial is for me, and for many people, like, that is Kirby Air Ride. That is, like, the defining part of the game. And so just having that one map again that looked kind of similar in size to the original was a little underwhelming, even though it is fun. I had a lot of fun with it. But it's like, could there be more, despite Sakurai's words? Could there be even more to city trial itself?
I mean, Sakurai is known to be a troll at times, so he could be hiding multiple islands or multiple options for city trial. I'm trying to think of like Smash times where he's been like trolly. Oh, I guess for one example, him saying like Ridley's too big for Smash, and we got Ridley in Smash, so the size doesn't matter. So again, he could be like, "Oh, this is the only city trial," and be like, "Wait a minute, there's more islands. I was just hiding it. I was just keeping it a secret." So yeah, Sakurai is very tricky with his wording. So I could see there being multiple islands, or at least maybe options to expand it somehow. Maybe if you're playing with more players, it gets larger. If you're playing with less players, it gets smaller. But yeah, I think there has to be a little bit more to that. And again, going back to what we're saying with the pricing, Andre, like this being a $70 game, there has to be a lot there. The amiibos are so expensive too. Those are $50 too, and he's probably going to be talking about more of those because those come out day one with the game. There's only 2 of them so far, but they said they're going to have more in the future. But yeah, there's got to be so many other things here that we just don't know about yet.
Yeah, that's kind of fun thing. Like, what else is there? Like, are they going to focus entirely on story mode, for like half the presentation? But then they probably don't want to spoil too much of it. But then again, Sakurai straight up played through a whole city trial in the last direct, right? And it just does make you wonder. And then and keeping on city trial for a moment here, I wonder if there could be even more to it beyond just arenas that they've talked about. Like, one of my big concerns right now is just the fact that it does a weird thing where at the end of a city trial, like, splits everyone up into different groups, which I really don't like. So could there be more options here, maybe, that, will help mitigate that or change how it works, The original game had some options in terms of, like, the time limit or whatever, but I wonder if there could be even more, more going on here than we realize.
Yeah, that thing, I hope he actually addresses it in here, but I don't think he will, because I don't think it was too much of a complaint to most people. Again, I found it very odd that you vote on the city trial, the event that you want to do at the end, and if you pick one that no one else picks, you automatically you just win. Yeah. It's just like, oh, you won. I was like, so I spent that 5 minutes of collecting everything
for nothing.
In city trial. Yeah, for nothing.
It was randomly by default. Yeah, that's the thing I really hope that they take another look at, and that's not the only option. Like, here's a good way of going about it. That could be the for fun mode. Like, let that be for fun.
Oh, yeah.
Then there should be a for glory mode that's more like the classic Kirby Air Riders city trial, where like, yeah, you're going up against everyone at once, like, you better have grabbed some good stats, otherwise you're going to be in deep trouble. So, Majora Z says, I'm wondering if, they're in the chat, by the way, as well, not just on Twitter. They're saying, I'm wondering if maybe there's more explicit challenges, not just the achievements in the checkerboard for beating races, etc. in specific ways, but the modified versions of courses you can do. Oh, but like modified versions of courses you can do. That's a really good, so what they're asking is if, is if instead of just like, the challenge is just being typical achievements, if maybe they could be more bespoke things, like here's a particular challenge that we made this arena just for, can you beat it? Yeah.
I do like that a lot, and Sakurai kind of experimented with that in Smash Ultimate, because there are some that are character specific. I think it's like multi-man melee, survive for maybe like 10 minutes. Chat, I could be wrong with this, but I know there's one where you have to be Ken and you can only do Tatsus and dragon punches, like Shoryukens the entire time. So like there could be specific things like that where there's maps specifically made for each of these achievements, and I'd be like, I would be on that. I would be on board for that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. And I keep coming back to that file size. Like, why is it so big, right?
I have something, Andre, with the file size. We're in a post Kirby and Forgotten Land world. Is there any chance that we have like a hub area where you can walk around in, or anything in that particular faction? Because again, like there are times where you can jump off, especially I think it's only city trial, where you can jump off your machine and walk around. Kirby's not the fastest. He is a little faster here than the original game, but again, like maybe there is like a hub area or a hub world where you can interact with people, or maybe that's part of story mode. Like who knows? Because again, we're in a post Forgotten Land world where Sakurai might have saw that game and be like, hey, like I'm definitely going to use that inspiration for this game.
Yeah, because just to clarify, that game had a hub, like Waddle Dee Town. And yeah, I mean, I want another hub in which I can wave to every character in the town. So that'd be amazing. No, that'd be cool, actually. And it, but the thing is, Sakurai, thinking back, he's never done anything quite like that, which isn't to say he can't. A lot of the times he's doing something new. So I do wonder, like, would he do that, or would he go for something more akin to World of Light? Was it, where you have like a world map and then you use that to traverse? Which I guess Kirby and the Forgotten Land also had a world map too.
Yeah.
Or again, going back to that kind of quasi-open world idea, what if that desert setting we saw with that character at the end of the last trailer, what if that is the hub? Kind of like how it works in Metroid Prime 4, these large empty deserts,
Yeah.
Maybe you take your Warp Star, you fly around to different destinations. Like, I'm actually already picturing there could be some cool stuff they do there. Like, maybe Kirby, like, maybe there's some, like, end of the world destruction thing happening, of course, like, on the other side of the world. Kirby's got to race there in time across the giant desert, on his little Warp Star and get there. Maybe you have, like, maybe you can upgrade your ride throughout the game, too. That's another consideration. Like, City Trial already obviously has elements of that, but maybe you can get, like, perma upgrades throughout the story mode, where you can change your vehicle and upgrade your vehicle throughout.
Yeah, I guess, and that's not too crazy to think about, like having a separation of single player and multiplayer, because we have seen that in something like Kid Icarus, where Sakurai gave you a lot of customization to your actual like armor set or to your weapon that you have. So there could be an element to that in single player where you can kind of customize your vehicle or customize your stats for whoever you play as. It's probably going to be Kirby for the duration of the story mode.
Yeah, that's a good one. Would you be able to change your character in story mode? You could in World of Light, right? You unlock the characters you went through it. Yeah.
Yeah, you get to play as anyone. So yeah, is this going to be a Kirby-centric story mode if they have it, or is it going to be like, hey, you got to? Well, no, I think it would be multiple characters because he made a big deal about this game having multiple playable characters and not just Kirby. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's even called Kirby Air Riders, right? So
yeah.
And now that makes me wonder, is there a chance that this supposed story mode, which I think will be there, could it be co-op? Could it have online co-op maybe?
I would be a huge fan of co-op, but knowing Sakurai, I think he would probably just stick to one person. I would be all in because we would be playing co-op. I'd be playing co-op with a bunch of my friends, but I think he'd probably have like some reasoning for making it just single player and then keeping the multiplayer separate.
Maybe,
but then again, he is making a big emphasis of having multiple characters. So maybe he wants to be like, hey, like you can play with a friend here or do this mission with a friend.
Like at the least, it'd be cool if there were missions where you have to team up with the other people, even if they're NPCs or computer controlled in the game. It'd be cool if they if you had
swap it out with a human.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and now this would just make me wonder too. Like we haven't touched on the racing mechanics yet.
No.
Because it's funny because Kirby Air Ride, like going by how it presented itself, like that was supposed to be primarily a racing game. The thing is, no one talks about being a racing game. People only talk about being City Trial, even though 2/3 of the game was about racing. Because you had the main races, which we've already seen in the direct, with the character behind Kirby or the camera behind Kirby, and it's like kind of like Mario Kart like. But then you also have the top-down races we mentioned before, which we don't know those are back or not yet. So yeah, do you think there could be more to the races? Like, when I played it at Gamescom, they weren't focusing on the races, but we did do the tutorial, and the final challenge was basically a race in one of the stages. And I did notice that it did feel better than the first game. Like, it just felt like a little bit more mechanically in tune with what a racing game should be. It just like it felt like it had a little bit more depth. And so I'm wondering, like, could there be even more to that beyond what we've seen? Like maybe a ton of more stages, maybe more mechanics. Yeah, I don't know.
I think the only thing we would get out of that is more stages. Because again, if you look at the original Kirby Air Rider, there's maybe 8 stages. That might be pushing it. Like, I don't think there's that many stages.
Maybe 7. In the game. Yeah.
Maybe
one
7.
One of the spots is random, so.
Yeah, right. One of the spots is random, so it's very, very small. And the way of mechanics, I don't think there's really anything else they're hiding here because they already showed off they already had a playable demo. If they didn't have a playable demo in the first place at Gamescom, I would say maybe they are hiding another button or two. But again, like I think his goal with this game was to keep it as simple as possible.
See, that's the thing again. This game's already playable. Like I've played a ton of this game, LA City Trial. It's like how much more can they really be hiding? Because I mean, it seems unrealistic. There's much more in the way of mechanics that they haven't shown because they would have been accessible when I played it. But then you could say if you take a look at DK Bonanza, they did hide a fairly big element in the fact that Oddrock ended up being Pauline. Though I guess you could also say it didn't really fundamentally change how the game played either. It was more of a story beat than it was a a gameplay aspect. Though it did factor into the powers you got, which I guess was kind of a important thing. So do you think they're hiding something like that here maybe, or beyond the story mode?
I don't think so. I think story mode's the biggest thing they'll be hiding. I mean, I'm trying to think of another mechanic or another button that they can add here.
Third button.
Yeah,
unprecedented third button.
Yeah, Sakurai's gonna be. That's all the 1 hour presentation's gonna be is him talking about this third button. He's like, "Well, I didn't realize the controller had extra buttons, so we're gonna add a new move." And I'm trying to think what that new move would be because everyone has their signature abilities. That's what the extra button is. So maybe I'm not. I'm trying to think. Chat, help us out
That's,
here
I
because
mean,
we're
that,
really trying to think
that's
what that extra
exactly.
thing
I mean,
is.
that's why like the only new content I can really think of, it has to be a new mode, which is why I keep going back into a single player, or maybe something else. Because yeah, within the fundamentals we already know, like there's not a whole lot more leeway beyond just showing more courses. Do you remember how many courses they've already shown? Is it like 3 or 4 or something for the races,
Like
or
racing courses, yeah, I
yeah,
want to say maybe 3 or 4.
maybe a little bit more? But
There's like the block or the flower area, which is like the first one they showed off in the teaser. There's the I want to say the Moses area where the water gets pushed off to the sides. And then on top of that, I'm trying to think what other levels, what other racing levels they've shown. I've been mostly just focused on a city trial, obviously, because that's just one course that they've
I'm sure
shown.
there's a wiki entry that has all the courses listed.
Yeah,
Maybe chat, let us know if you know how many. But again, the original game only had 7, and I'm having like I don't know if they would really add that many more to this game. And again, that again brings me back to the file size thing. Like if there's only let's say 10 courses, the city trial map. Where's all the rest of that data going, right? Besides maybe an epic single player campaign. We have a couple comments here from Connor. They say, I hope Top Ride comes back because of that little Kirby figure from the Kirby Air Riders Twitter account, PFP. Oh, I didn't even consider that. That
oh, I do
PFP.
remember that. Yeah, that was a new profile picture.
You know, the
Like,
thing
good
is,
call.
I do. It's funny, but I have an affinity for top-down like racers, especially like in minigame form, like in Mario Party or Lego Party. Like I love those kinds of things, right? But I never really loved Top Ride or what was it called, Top Riders?
Top down
No,
or
Top Ride,
is it
yeah.
top down?
I never
Top
quite
ride.
loved how it felt, but maybe they refine the mechanics. It could be really good. So I am hopeful that it's back because I think there is something to it that could still work. Connor then continued though. Also, did you hear that Sakurai said that he's keeping a secret in the volcano, and I wonder what exactly is in the volcano? So wait, did he say that in the direct? Did he say it? Because I actually, in one of my videos, I go to the volcano, and I went inside it, if I remember correctly, and it took you to like this weird space area. Chat, remind me if you see my video, if that's it. I think that's where it is. And I wonder if that was just a secret he was talking about. Like, it's cool, it's a neat looking area,
Yeah.
but it's not like a huge secret, but it's the kind of thing you could tease in a direct, be like, oh, what's down there? Then you see it, like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess that's the way
I
he's
was like, oh,
talking
that was
about
it.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. So, Electric Video Gamer says, yeah, you found the volcano, there was a bunch of upgrades. Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Which I think is also how the original game worked, only without the space setting. It was cool, don't get me wrong. Hey, Uzer, they say, oh wow, it's GameXplain, so cool. Yep, we're here. Thanks, Uzer. Electric Video Gamer says, oh wait, I forgot about the legendary machine parts. Yeah, have we seen those yet?
Oh,
So,
I don't think we've seen those. They're from this game. What is it? The Dragoon pieces? I believe that's what they're called.
right.
They also have them in Smash. I think they first added them to Brawl. You have to collect all 3 pieces. But I think in Kirby, is it 3 pieces or 5 pieces you have to collect?
Pretty sure it was 3 in both Smash
It's
and Kirby
3,
Air
yeah.
Riders.
So yeah, I don't think we've seen them yet. Andre, you haven't seen them in gameplay, right? Like you weren't able to catch them in City Trial.
No, I didn't see them. I played a bunch of City Trial, and I don't think they popped up at all. Which, I'm certain is something that is in the game, and that Sakurai is hiding. And could that factor into the story mode? Maybe you have to rebuild that legendary machine. You know,
Yeah.
maybe there's more pieces of it in the story mode or something. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 pieces per machine. That's what people are saying.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I do. Man, I almost forgot about that. But only because it happens so rarely that
It's
someone
so
got.
rare.
Because yeah, especially when you're playing split screen, you're like, oh, my friend got a piece. Well, time to target him and take him down
Yeah.
and get that piece back, right?
It's even more. I think it's more. There's more tension built up in Smash because obviously everyone's sharing the same screen, so you can
Right.
see someone pick it up and it's right by their icon. So again, like you said, when you're playing split screen
So
for Kirby Air Riders, you see it, but we're not going to know who has it. We probably won't.
Well,
We're
maybe
probably not going to know who has it now,
it could
unless it
highlight.
shows.
Maybe it would
Oh,
highlight.
that would.
Because it would have to do something, just because if you don't know who has the other pieces, then you're never going to assemble it, right? Like if you get piece
Yeah.
2, someone's got piece 1, you're going to have to know who targets. So that, yeah, so I think they would have to highlight it on the HUD, like who, kind of like having a crown of Fortnite or something, you know?
Yeah, it has to maybe put a little icon by your name that says, "Hey, this person has 1 of 3 pieces. Go after them before they get the final 2."
Right, exactly. Connor says, also, since we're talking about Kirby Air Riders, I wonder why the Kirby Air Riders Twitter account has to make Susie Haltman a heavyweight. Like, why? Wait, is she a heavyweight? Or...
Wait, I didn't even realize, do the characters have weight classes, I guess? I guess they have stats, so that does make sense.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit Mario Kart like, though maybe more in depth because actually no, I think it's very Mario Kart like. I think yeah, where the characters affect the machines they're on. Steel is heavy, says Electric Video Gamer. Okay, I
Andre, what do you think? How long until we get Kirby Air Riders on GameCube NSO?
not for at least a year. Like
A year?
they don't
Okay.
want any competition with
Oh,
yeah.
so no, I have something else on top of that. How soon do you think until we get announcement of DLC for this game?
Oh
Because
God,
the Donkey Kong
before but
DLC
here
was,
we're gonna get
I
it
was
for
gonna say
Mario
the
Kart
Donkey
World.
Kong DLC was literally a month after, and then the Pokemon DLC was before the game even came
Yep.
out. So yeah, are we gonna get this in this
It's
direct? Are they gonna
he
talk
might
about
talk
it?
about it here. It's entirely possible. Yeah, I think he might talk about it after he plays a 4-player sea trial match by himself. Like
Yeah.
with two hands and 2 feet.
Yeah. It's just him playing four players.
Hey, that's why it's only 2 buttons, right? You can manage it.
Yeah.
So, Uzer says, "Oh yeah, Kirby Air Riders. I got a prediction, but not really. I think there will be a pause menu screen lore since Sakurai is working on it, and his last Kirby game included it. I think so. Pause screen lore, maybe. Wait, I'm trying to think of the lore. So, isn't the pause screen usually? Wait, maybe I'm thinking. Wait, okay.
I don't think I've heard this yet.
Did something happen in Kirby 64? I remember in the original Kirby's Dream Land, Kirby would start dancing on the pause screen if you kept it there for a while. But yeah. Oh, here's a thought. Will they confirm official GameCube controller support? Have they already? I don't think they
Oh,
have they?
I don't think they have, but you can use the GameCube just natively with the GameCube adapter on the Switch too. So I don't know where you would be or where like what point you would talk about it. If they would, I think they would have to promote the NSO GameCube controller, the wireless one, right?
Right. Oh,
Like I don't think they
absolutely.
would want to they wouldn't want to push, hey, like go buy third parties or buy the wired one. No, 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 buy the wireless one.
Yeah, I
So
asked
yeah,
because it's Sakurai and Smash Brothers has always used it, so
yeah, exactly. So if they do talk about it again, maybe they mention NSO. Maybe it goes back to us talking about the achievements. Maybe it goes back to them raising the price for NSO. Like there are so many ways they can go about the GameCube controller. But yeah, they have not shown it off here yet.
okay, Electric Video Gamer says modern Kirby games have lore in the pause screen and fighting bosses. I never noticed that.
I never noticed that either.
Did like a text box pop up or something? Or which Kirby game specifically? Did I somehow miss these? The last 2D Kirby game I played all the way through was Kirby's Return to Dreamland on the Wii. So is that what we're talking about? I don't think I had it in that game though, but maybe it did and I missed it. In any case, I'm trying to envision. I'm thinking more about the story mode, Nick, because I feel like like that's the big thing. I think, right? Is there anything else it could be though? Like maybe we're crazy. Maybe there is no story mode. Is there anything else like that could be the big thing here that they're showing off?
I don't. I with this file size, like my number one pick is story mode. Again, they're not going to make this game open world like Mario Kart. Maybe they are, and maybe we're just not seeing that. And they're like, "Hey, this is how you can traverse between the different city trials or between the different maps, like Mario Kart." But I don't think they're going to go in that
I,
direction either.
I
Maybe there are just so many characters, but again, I don't think that would take up that much space.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. I don't think if there is an open world, it's not going to be in the same sense of Mario Kart World is.
Yeah.
Because in Mario Kart World, it exists in the way it does in order to facilitate the new highways and knockout
Yep.
tours, right? And we've already seen the main modes of this game, presumably, and there's no way I can envision that working with an open world experience. It just doesn't mesh. But I could see there being an open world like element, as we talked about already, with the story mode, where maybe you are traversing like long distances to reach like new challenges, or
Yeah.
But then again, that could just be a world map too. But the fact that they did tease that desert with the new character does make me wonder. There is that Metroid Prime 4 like element with the these hubs that do connect different areas and different regions.
Yeah, I love that you called it out with the initial Brawl announcement trailer with Wario on the bike, and then he crashes, and you
Yep.
see the smoke fart or the fart bomb or whatever.
Yep. So good. So GBC stops as it's so excited for this. Yeah, I am too. Like I just hope that they justify it being an hour. Because I love Sakurai. I love Kirby Air Ride. I like what I've seen of Kirby Air Rider so far. That last direct did not need to be 45 minutes or whatever it
Yeah.
was. Like, it did not need to be that long. So my concern is we're just going to see a lot of the same stuff here, much like Mario Kart World, and not a whole lot in the way of new stuff. Because even if they do, talk about a new story mode, would they really want to show that much of it? Do they want to spoil a whole lot of it? Like, maybe it gets a 5-10 minute segment. What do you do with the other 50 minutes,
Yeah, there's so much time on his hands here. And again, this is going to be the last Nintendo Direct that we get before the end of the year. Like this will be the last one in 2025, unless we get a Metroid Prime 4 one next month. But I don't know
I almost
if
think
you do any more
they have
presentations
to.
for
I think
that?
they have
You
to.
think you so do you place that before Kirby comes out? I guess well we have this, then we have a week off next week, and then we have Hyrule Warriors, and then you place it that week, the week between or in between Hyrule Warriors and Kirby Air Riders, you place the Metroid Prime 4 Direct?
Sorry, after Hyrule Warriors, is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. So
Yeah,
after Hyrule Warriors, but
I think
before
so.
Kirby Air
Yeah,
Riders is when you place the
I think that's
Direct.
exactly when you do it. And so it's either, I think it either has to be a full direct, though that seems a little bit likely at this point, but maybe, or a Metro Prime 4 dedicated direct. I think that'll be the best option for it. I think we need to see
Yeah.
more of this game, just because I don't think it's lighting the world on fire quite yet. And it feels like, I mean, it's either that or it'll be like a really long overview trailer, like one of the two. But I think a direct would be the smarter way of going about it. But they do need to get more eyes on this game, and I don't think they've done it quite yet. Especially when you're, I mean, I guess rather, I almost keep forgetting it's also a Switch One game, and
Yeah.
I think it makes sense to blow it out as much as you can at this point. Like really just get it in front of, just get this game in front of as many people as possible. Because like what we've seen so far, like it still feels like they barely touched on the game. Like every trailer is like what 2 to 3 minutes. Like it barely tells us anything. The game's been playable and it's good. I like what I played. I think it's a great looking game and it plays well so far. But even playing it, it hasn't quite shown like, hey, here's why you need this game.
Yeah.
And I think they started tapping into that a little bit more with the last direct where we saw more of the world. We saw the desert and motorcycle sequence, which is strangely divisive. I think it looked awesome.
Yeah.
Like, man, this thing looks,
I think it looks awesome
the bike
too.
looks awesome. Yeah, I want to see more of that. And I think the fact that they did tease it shows that they will be telling us more about it soon. I hope. Maybe they won't. And maybe they're going to drop the ball on Metroid again, so...
One odd thing to point out is that the amiibos for Metroid, I believe, are coming out the same day as Hyrule Warriors, which is a month before the game actually comes out, which is kind of odd. But there are also Metroid amiibos coming out on the same day as Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
But like what you were saying, Andre, yeah, hopefully they have one more trailer. Hopefully they have something that kind of knocks it out of the park for us. Because the last trailer was very good, but they still need to show something there for the game.
They do. Well, we're getting off target here, off the the
Back
flying
to Kirby.
challenge target. We gotta stay. This is about Kirby Air Riders. Now I'm wondering, could there be a Metroid crossover? Is this Samus riding around a little Dream Star thing, Warp Star?
Sakurai went over to Retro Studios and he's like, "Hey, you need to give Samus a bike so we can put Samus in Kirby game and Kirby Riders."
He should have like a little tiny airship. That'd be adorable. But that does bring up the fact that will we see more characters here, even beyond that mystery character? I think we will.
Yeah, I think we will too. Because again, I think we're sitting at 16 characters. And looking at something like Mario Kart World, how many characters are in that? Over 50 or something? I lost track. Chat, let us know. But there is a lot of characters, not including the outfits for each character. I'm just talking about each of the characters as a standalone. But yeah, so far we only have 16, I believe, for Kirby Air Riders. But I think we can maybe go between 20 and 30. Hopefully it's not like just 1 or 2 secret characters. Hopefully there's a lot more than that. But I think we're going to see more characters here.
Yeah, actually, there's 20. Wait, is this right? Hold on. No, this is not.
Oh,
right.
it's 12 characters? Oh, I'm thinking of 16 for City Trial. So I guess you can play as multiple of the same characters, or different color Kirby's as well.
I'm looking at the character select screen, right? Yeah, so it looks like... Is that right? 5, 10... Wait, I think it's 15 characters, I believe.
15 for Air Riders?
No, I'm sorry. It is 12. Yeah, they're right. But it's... Assuming... If this is the official image. The character selection screen, if this is accurate, like barely takes up any part of this. Like it's only half the screen right now, which leaves tons of room for more characters, which I think there will be. I know a lot of people want like the anime characters, the Kirby anime ones to appear, which would be cool.
Oh yeah.
I like to see.
Go
ahead.
What's the snail's name? Is his name just Joe or something? The snail that's.
Is it Joe?
It's something simple. I feel like.
Connor does ask, what if we're getting 24 characters in total? I think that's actually not unrealistic. I think that could be a good minimum, in fact. Actually, well, unless they had to change the character size. But they do that in Smash Brothers all the time. The more characters you unlock, the smaller the screen gets. So they could easily push even beyond 24 if they wanted to. And in fact, they might do DLC, too, There's always that factor as well. Escargoon, I think.
That's who it is. Yeah. Thank you, chat. I don't know why I thought it was Joe. It was just something simple.
Joe? It's so offensive. That poor snail, Looks like a Joe to me. That slow snail. Yeah, who else would you want to see, chat? Like, Escargoon would be hilarious, especially with how fast you can go on the Warp Stars, how slow he is in the show, right?
I would
Um,
want any kind of representation from Kirby 64.
yeah, that's what I was
And again,
thinking.
I'm not good with names, so I'm trying to think of the painter in
Oh,
that game.
I'm seeing Mark's Adeline. Was that Kirby 64? I think Adeline. Wasn't that
I think
was
that
that the
might be
girl?
it.
Um, Connor says Tiff and Tough from the show, I believe.
Oh my God, yeah.
Electric Video Gamers helping for is it Elephant and Poppy Bros? Poppy Bros would be amazing. Was it Elephant from Kirby and the Forgotten Land? Is that what?
Oh wait, yeah, that's definitely it. That's the little companion that you get for the whole game.
Ooh,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Electric Video Gamer says and Rick. So Rick was the what the hell was he? Was he like a squirrel or something? A
Oh,
chipmunk?
like the gerbil
Yeah,
or
the hamster, I think.
hamster.
So
That's what it
here's
was.
the thing with them is I forgot to post a video on this. I don't, maybe someone else noticed, but I noticed it when I was playing at Gamescom. You can see the fish. What's the fish called? The fish buddy from Kirby's Dream Land 2.
Oh man,
Anyway,
there's so many different names. I'm getting them all confused. Rick the
Rick
hamster.
the hamster. Thank you. Is it Kine? Keen? Okay, yeah. Keen? Is it the fish? Yeah, thank you, Chad. All right, Kine, one of the two. I saw him. I came across him, like his little cameo in City Trial, which makes me think the other two are probably hanging out somewhere too. So I'm thinking they're maybe not full characters, unless that's how you unlock them. Kind of like how it worked in Mario Party, where you'd encounter characters on the world map and then they'd be added to your roster.
Yeah.
So mine. Oh, it's Kind, like mine. Okay, thank you. Perfect. So
If that's the case, I hope the character selection or the character unlock process is much easier than Mario Kart World because Mario Kart World, man, was it? I still have to get the I still have to get Swoop the bat. That's the last one I'm missing, and I just know how much of a pain that is to get. Even though they did fix it with the UFO, I guess help where you can just go over a character and just kind of abduct them. But yeah, I hope unlocking characters is much easier than that.
yeah, definitely. Connor says, "Well, here's the lore that I have, and that is like if Elephant is helping, would Air Riders take place after Forgotten Land, or if it's not, then would Kirby Air Riders take place after Star Allies?" Yeah, I have no idea where this game fits in the lore. Like,
Yeah, I don't know either.
I would love if they did pull from other Kirby games because so far every environment we've seen, I think, is bespoke to this game. I don't think it's based on anything. But how cool would it be if there were a Forgotten Land map where you are racing between buildings and cities? I mean, or that could be like a city trial stage. Again, I'm aware that Sakurai evidently said that this is the one stage, but maybe he's holding out. In
He is a
typical
trickster.
Sakurai.
And Andre, back to your point about maybe there's like a Forgotten Land city trial. Hopefully that's not the DLC that they're saving off. That would be a big shocker and be like, come on, Nintendo, just please don't announce DLC here.
The thing is, could you even do it as DLC? Because then you're limiting your market. Like if it's an online
Oh,
game.
you do shrink it a lot.
Yeah.
Unless they handle it like how they handle it in Mario Kart, right? Like if you don't have the booster course pass in Mario Kart, you can still get those courses online. I believe that's how it works, right, chat? Like if we're playing together and I don't have the booster course passes, like I can still select them. But if I'm playing offline, I can't use them.
I remember, was it Mario Kart 8 where with the initial DLC, they had different brackets for it? So like, if you want to play with DLC, you have to choose this. Yeah, it's a total pain. It's really annoying, and I'm glad they stepped away from that. So Dylan says you could say this is a direct sequel. It is. How weird is this, by the way? Have we ever had this before? Two directs on the same game?
I don't. Well, so not in this context. I believe obviously they talked about the game in a direct and then had a direct post that direct of the game being announced. But I don't think we've ever had outside of Smash Bros. Right, where Smash is like, hey, here's this character. Well, I guess outside of the characters, Smash has had somewhat multiple directs because if you look back at 2018, that E3 was a majority of Smash because I think it was like 25 minutes long for Smash, and then later that year. I think they might have had two Smash Directs on top of that for the year. They had one where they ended with like K-Rool, and then they had one right before the game came out, and I think that one started with Incineroar and Ken, I believe. So outside of Smash, I think this might be the only other game.
Yeah, you might be right there. Smash, okay, yeah, Monterey is confirming Smash had two directs plus E3. Yeah, Smash actually does make sense. I guess it's just a Sakurai thing at this point now.
It's just a Sakurai
staple. Connor says Marks makes sense as a new character because he had his boss fight in Smash Brothers Ultimate. Hey, there you go. And given the fact that Sakurai is a common link between those two, I could totally see that. I know a lot of people want Marks. I think Marks would be a fun one. So
Marks is the creepy jester, right? Like that just goes insane. Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yes, correct. That is Marks.
Yeah, it has like the two jester hats, and it looks like all cute and cuddly, and then it goes insane after that.
So the reason why I hesitate on that, because I was thinking it reminded me back to Kirby Superstar, where he had an awesome RPG like boss fight in the underground. God, what was that mode called? The Great Cave Offensive, and
Oh
then that
yeah.
got me thinking how that game had like multiple like modes as well, like tons of different, like 8 different Kirby games in one. Like, could he possibly do something like that here? Like, what if there are like 8 different modes? You got City Trial, you got top down, you got the story mode, but then you have the racing mode. But then there's like 4 other modes you could play too. You know, like what if they do something like that? Wouldn't that be crazy? You
Yeah,
know?
here's Kirby's platform challenge,
Oh,
or
Milky
Kirby
Way
does
Wishes.
math, or
Sorry, I got
something.
confused. That was Milky Way Wishes. Thank you, Connor. Yes. Sorry, go ahead, Nick. What were you saying?
No, I was just thinking of like other weird game modes. Like here's Kirby platforming, or here's Kirby does math, or something. Like Sakurai, like why is that
Oh
a
my God,
mode
I didn't think
here?
about that. Like, what if there is like a 2D mode? Like, what if that's a top-down replacement or adjacent
Yeah.
mode? That would be kind of amazing. Like, I'm almost picturing like a Sonic-like type thing, you know, like a
Oh
fast-paced.
yeah.
Yeah, that could be really fun. Maybe the camera zooms out more the faster you're going. I love that idea. I don't know
I
how it
think
would
he has.
work.
There's been something like that. Chat, let me know. I think maybe Kirby Return or Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland on the Game Boy Advance. There was a 4-player 2D option for racing, and what you would have to do is you hold down the A button to go faster, but then you would go over these patches that I think are like red, so you have to
Right.
let go. But if you're holding down the gas button on those, I think it slows you down. So maybe there is a mode like that here.
And Majora Z, or Majora's probably, is saying the exact same thing. There was a 2D air ride mini game in either the DS or GBA Kirby game. So that's what you're talking
Y-
about, right?
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, I think it was Nightmare in Dreamland on the Game Boy Advance, I believe, and then they might have brought it back for other ones after that.
So yeah, there is precedent for this, even though that wasn't a Sakurai-like game as far as I'm aware. Yeah, that'd be cool. I think it was called Kirby Sky Rises, Connor. That's way too good of a name to. I'm
Yeah.
still a little annoyed that they didn't call. Wait, was it that I had a dumb name
What-
for it for the city trial thing, like a Skyland or something. You know, it should be a Skyland.
Oh, I mean, what's it called in Zelda in
Tears of the Kingdom?
Skyward Sword? It's
Skyroll.
called Sky. It's called Skyloft.
Yeah, it should be Skyroll. They screwed up.
Skyroll.
They totally botched. They totally dropped the ball on that. Why isn't a sky roll? Like, it's right there. What is wrong? They had low roll already. It's right freaking there. Sky roll.
It is
Come
right
on.
there.
That still annoys me to this day, Nick.
It's perfect.
It really is. I'm looking at the chat here. Uzer says maybe Miz will be in Kirby Air Riders. 0%
I don't think
chance.
so.
No,
I think
don't
Mii's
so.
are basic. No, Mii's are saved for what's it called next year, the Tomodachi Life. I don't think we're seeing Mii's. Mii's aren't even in Mario Kart, so if they're not in Mario
Exactly.
Kart, there's no way they're going to be here.
And they barely fit in Mario Kart, but they fit more in Mario Kart than they do in Kirby Air Riders. So yeah, I think there's 0% chance to see them here. I'm sorry to say. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think any other modes they could do. Like, I do love your hub idea again. I want to go back to that. Like, what if there is like a hub where you can walk around? I mean, like, could there be like any kind of mini games like that that involve the on foot mechanics? You know.
Again, we're in a post Kirby and Forgotten Land world, so I could see Sakurai doing something where it's like, hey, this one specific mode, you're not using the air, or you're not using the vehicle, or maybe there's one person that has the vehicle and they have to chase you down, like a cops and robbers situation, like
Yeah.
in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
That'd be interesting. It seems like that'd be really OP for the one person though. So
Yeah.
is there a way like the 3 can fight back then, or the other, or however many people there
So
are?
maybe it's the 3 people have to go and collect items, and when they're holding an item, they're walking slower, and the person that's on a vehicle is maybe it's so fast that it's hard to control, because there are vehicles like that in Kirby Air Riders where you go so fast you're just constantly hitting walls. So maybe that's how you balance it out, or maybe you make them super slow. And then you make the people just walking around just have no abilities to fight back or anything, or maybe they can absorb something and shoot it back at the
Yeah.
person on the vehicle.
See-
There's definitely ways you can go about it.
I think we're kind of cooking now. Like I
Yeah.
love asymmetric gameplay. That's why I love Dead by Daylight. I love Nintendo Land. It'd be amazing if this game had a mode like that, where like one person is like the one with the star, or maybe a boss character or whatever, and everyone else has to like fight back against them or something, or avoid being chased down by that one, like cops or robbers as you mentioned. Which maybe that's why it's missing from Mario Kart, because they knew Kirby Air Riders had it coming up, right? So. Electric Video Gamer says maybe there's a special online friends lobby. Have they talked about how the friend stuff works at all yet? They haven't.
No, I think they barely mentioned online. They said obviously you can play online, but I don't think they've really gone into details or even shown a lobby system, like just invite system for friends.
Right. They absolutely need that. Like, and I hope, I suspect that they will, because Smash Brothers, I think, has always had a pretty good lobby system, and Sakurai's actually been like at the forefront. Chaos, hi, chill out though now. No spamming the chat. Don't make me time you out. But yeah, Sakurai's kind of been at the forefront a lot, of online, going way back to Smash Brawl, right? Unfortunately, his online often hasn't been the greatest also at the
I
same time. So luckily, Kirby Air Riders, I think, is using a more Mario Kart-like system, unlike the previous Kirby racing game, which was Kirby's Dream Buffet, which had terrible
Oh
online.
yeah.
So Corey says, "Oh, I didn't even think about this. I haven't factored in this idea." Corey says, "Kid Icarus and Kirby Air Riders." That is the only possibility that could cross over. I would say that would could happen because he's got the trifecta. He's got his own series. He's in Smash Brothers, and it was redesigned by Sakurai, of course, for it originally.
Yep.
And now Sakurai's directing Kirby. Kid Icarus is the only character I could see, and they even have like the Sky World tie-in too, right? So
And on top of that, you can make it that Palutena isn't around to give him flight, so that's why he has to use the vehicles. It's like, oh, I can't, and he'll be talking all the time because Pit talks so much.
Does.
He's like, I wish I could just fly, but I have to use these stupid
God.
vehicles.
That'd
They're
be
holding me
awesome.
back. He's like, Lady Palutena, where are you?
And what's interesting is I pointed out before that voice actor is also back more recently in another game being made by Suda51, being Romeo is a Dead Man, a game he played at PAX. So how fun would it be, or not PAX, Gamescom, how fun would it be if he has like multiple roles happening at once, and anyways, yeah, I think that'd be amazing. I don't think it's going to happen, but if there were a crossover character to happen, it would be Pit. So I like it. Diamond Star says, "Hi, I absolutely need Escargoon from Kirby right back at you. I bet everyone else does too." We already talked about Diamond Star. You're right. People will love it. In fact, I think, Nick, you're the one that brought that up initially, right? So
yeah, we were trying to think of his name, and I said Joe, and I'm like, that's not his name. And chat was like,
Escar Joe.
No, I'm thinking of what's his name, Knuckle Joe. I believe that's who it is, and who's already a character, playable character in Kirby Air Riders.
Yeah. Anthony Del Rio. That's the voice actor's name for Pit. So that'd be amazing. Someone else here says, Kaizo Mario says, "I think it'll be such a missed opportunity to not have a track based off the Forgotten Land." Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. I agree.
Yeah.
If not a track, some kind of like hub or like city trial environment, even if again there is just the one. We haven't really talked much about city trial really. Just because I feel like we know it, but that's where I really hope that we are wrong on this. I do hope that there is more, but I would love if there is a Forgotten Land type environment for it in particular, because it just lends itself so well both to a racetrack and a city or a city trial track. Because it's literally a city. It's literally a freaking city. It makes so much sense. Yeah, right? And I think that'd be great. But I do have to say, Nick, like, one of my hesitations with this game, and it hurts me to say, like, city trial has always been the main thing for this game, at least from a fan perspective. And it kind of feels like they haven't done a whole lot more with it yet, Like, yeah, it's a little bit bigger now. There's 24 racers now, but that's it. It's like, man, I was hoping there'd be at least more stages, and I don't know. Like,
yeah, and that's the thing. I hope this presentation kind of knocks it out of the park and says, hey, like, this is the reason why we couldn't make this game like 20 years ago. This is why we're really harnessing the power of the Switch 2, and this is why City Trial is bigger and better than ever. But again, knowing Sakurai, it could be as simple as like, hey, we're sticking to the traditional City Trial that you guys love and know, and we're not really doing anything outside of that. And that kind of shows based off of him being like, hey, look, we added one button to the game, and that's it. But then again, like, he's such a trickster that there could be another button. There could be something way more bigger to show off for City Trial.
Yeah, I don't know what more they could do beyond arenas, and I mean, obviously, I guess actually we haven't really drilled in here. There is more they can show, but obviously I think there's gonna be more challenges that they haven't talked about. Because even though I played at Gamescom, I suspect they didn't have everything enabled there. We already talked about the legendary parts that are almost certainly there and are still missing. I mean, I would assume they're there. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's too OP, and that's why they can't be back. Because if you get it, you basically win, right? So we'll have to see. But I think there are more in-game events that we haven't seen yet. I did see like Dynablade during my playthrough a couple of times, but I feel like there's probably more big events like that they haven't shown. More in-game challenges, more options for it, hopefully. And again, I really do hope that there is like that For Glory mode, where you aren't divided into these different brackets, because I feel like that really undermines what City Trial is about. So I really hope that they've addressed that in some way. Tanjiro Kamado is here. They say, "What's up, GameXplain? What if we got Kirby and the Forgotten Land DLC tracks?" We keep going back to Forgotten Land. Yeah, that's what we want. Either a track or a City Trial. Everyone wants it. It makes so much sense. But I do know the concern from a lot of people I've heard being like, Sakurai only references his own games when it comes to Kirby. I don't know how true that is. I don't think it's off base, but he hasn't made many Kirby games recently either. It really was. Like, has he made anything beyond Kirby Air Ride? I don't think he has. But I think it comes from Smash, where like his Smash games are often referencing his own Kirby games, and I don't think there's a ton of way in the exceptions. But I also haven't researched it much, so yeah.
Ethan Ryan says in chat, Lumio City trial, LOL. Yeah, Lumio City is what's it called from Pokemon Legends ZA. That's the city that you're in the whole time. So it's gonna be funny if you just see Pokemon as
That'd be
you're just
amazing.
flying around.
Like, and now I'm thinking, like, could there be other city trial like modes that aren't exactly city trial? Like, what, like, could they offer a way to just play the challenges by themselves? Like, or maybe there's a mode like a roundup mode where like you're going around trying to collect as many Waddle Dees as possible, like trying to save the Waddle Dees.
I hope if there are different city trial modes that they have one like a battle royale mode like Fortnite. I know Mario Kart World kind of does that with Knockout Tour, but I wish there is like a center that you have to go to before you can't go anywhere else in the map and you just get knocked out. And then it kind of just funnels everyone down to like one last player or one final player being the winner of the match.
Yeah. Electric Video Gamer says, I think it'd be impossible not to divide the participants since it would change the fundamentals of the game design, being only 6 racers per race, despite 16 players in a city. Wait, have we seen full races being? I guess they have to be because the original game had that. But have we seen them back in the new one? I can't remember. No, we have. I even raced it myself. Yeah, we have seen that. And so I forget. I'm trying to remember now, but I haven't watched the original direct since it happened. Do they cap how many people can join a particular challenge?
I don't know if they do.
They must be because
yeah, if racing is restricted by the amount of players you have, then they would have to.
Yeah,
But then again, like if you vote on something that other people, or if everyone picks one thing and there's not enough space for everyone, do they just move you to the next challenge? Like how would that work?
Yeah, because when I was playing at Gamescom, there's only 4 players. They only had us playing. Rather, we're playing as groups of 4 humans with CPUs filling in for the rest. So we weren't able to see what happened if you had too many people vote for the same category. So I guess it must separate you automatically at that point. I don't think Sakurai specifically addressed that, but I'm assuming that's how that works. So yeah, so that way if you had, that way you can't have more than 6 players in a race. So, let's see, Clocat says, we haven't seen the full races back in the new one, I believe. You mean for City Trial? That's what you mean, right? Yeah, maybe we haven't, so. But I think I did race in a full race, but maybe, yeah, no, I know I did. Because I remember I had such enough top speed and flight, I was basically flying around the entire racetrack. It was hilarious. Like, I was lapping people, so yeah, but it wasn't on, I don't think that was on one of the full racetracks, though. That's the thing. It was on like a boring, boring.
It was just a giant circle.
Yeah, a giant circle, yeah. Majora says it says 8 is a limit for the challenges. Is it 8? Is that what you're talking about? But 6 for the races, right? So yeah. Anyways, Nick, anything else you're hoping for from this direct?
I just hope it's not a snooze fest like Mario Kart World, and I hope it's as exciting as Donkey Kong Bonanza's Direct. Because the Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct, I was like, this 20 minutes, it got me more excited for the game. I kind of know a little bit more of what to expect before picking it up. But again, him talking for an hour and already had 45 minutes on this game, it's like, I don't know what else I need to see here. Like, again, if they are going to show story mode, like, only show a few minutes and just save it for when the game comes out. Like, I want to be surprised when I actually pick up this game. So don't show too much, but don't show too little. Like, show us some more things we can get excited for.
Real quick, Majora Z does clarify. Yes, Sakurai said that if there's more than 8 players in a city trial stadium, they get split up. Okay, thank you for confirming.
Oh,
wow. So, what Connor says, I noticed that at Nintendo New York store there was less people there. Is it? You mean it wasn't busy when you went? Okay, well, I guess you chose a good time to go. But yeah, to your point, Nick. Yeah, I mean that's a giant mystery with this. Is like how much more is there really to show? And maybe they're just gonna play like an hour's worth of the story mode. Here's the first hour of this 50-hour campaign or something. World Allied was actually pretty long as I remember. I actually didn't even end up beating it in time. I never went back to beating it. And also Subspace was pretty lengthy too. I think so. I would. Actually, how long was Subspace? Let me look it up. How long?
Subspace is fairly long. World of Light took me maybe 25 to 30 hours.
Was it that long? Jeez.
Yeah, World of Light is very long. Again, World of Light has a lot of filler in it. I hate to say.
That's why. Well, that's partially why I stopped playing. How long? Okay, so people are saying, or Google's saying 8 hours for Subspace Emissary. How long was World of Light? This is 40 hours. Yeah, so you were right there in the middle there. Yeah. That's crazy. So I don't know if they'll go that hard on the story mode here, but if they did, could you imagine?
Well, if it's that long, I hope it has a lot of cutscenes and stuff that I can kind of get me engaged for a very long time to kind of stick it out.
I mean, having cutscenes
And
would, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and collectibles. Like I hope the story mode has
Mm.
some things that you can get that will actually you'll be able to showcase in single or online, because I love stuff like that where you unlocked in single player. And it's like, oh, now let me jump online and play with people. And it's like, hey, look, I did this thing, or I did this thing to unlock this.
Yeah, I wonder though, would that not just be part of the challenge, the achievement like
Oh, I
challenge
guess it would
system?
be, yeah. So it probably like I guess you do something in story mode, then you have the chance to unlock it in the achievement
Right.
system.
Assuming that's back. It may not be back, but my assumption is that it is back because that was essentially the meat of the original single player. Although I guess counterpoint, maybe they don't need it now because they actually have a proper single player.
Yeah.
So, but I think people liked it enough that they would want to bring it back. Plus, it does incentivize you to play every mode. Like, oh, if you want to unlock everything, you gotta unlock all the achievements and everything. So
You have to play Top Ride.
you gotta play Top Ride or the new 2D mode, hopefully.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So, yeah.
Or you can cheat. You can cheat and use the hammer. That's what he has in the other games. I don't know if you notice it, but like there's a little hammer, and if you
Right.
break it, like it unlocks it for you for free.
I think they had something like that in Kirby Air Ride 2. I could be misremembering, but I
I,
thought
I
there
believe
was
I think they first started. Yeah, I want to say they had it in Kirby Air Ride because I know they have it in Brawl. I want to say Kid Icarus. They have it in Smash 4 in Ultimate.
the key really is to hold on to those as long as possible until you reach a
Yeah.
challenge you just either can't or don't want to do. If you waste on early game stuff, you're screwed later on. So good luck
But
with
the thing
that.
is, the trick to that too is if you use it on something, like in later game, because I think I have like 4 or 5 in later game, but you use it, and I think you have to achieve or you have to complete 5 more achievements before you can use the next one. So you can't just spam them all.
Oh, okay, that actually is a smart way of doing it. So, Connor, yeah, feel free to get your idea out there. We're probably winding up pretty soon anyway, so let us know what you're hoping for, or expecting. Target 2 Man says in Smash Brothers are hammers and Kid Icarus uprising their feathers. Were
That's
they?
what it is.
But then were they
Uh,
non-Kirby Air Ride? Remind me. In any case, that's another point in his favor. They're in every Sakurai game now. Like, so they're probably going to be back in
yeah,
Kirby
they're
Air
probably
Ride.
going to be
So.
back.
And also, Kid Icarus Uprising being a largely single-player based game is another point in the favor of there being a single-player campaign. Because every game since Brawl, minus Meteos, or I guess maybe even including Meteos, has had like that strong single-player component from Sakurai, right? So I feel like they have to have
Yeah.
it here. No, I didn't see it, Connor, unless it was earlier. So yeah, maybe repost it if you want us to read it. But yeah, any other thoughts, Nick, that we haven't gotten out there?
No, I'm again, it's just so shocked that it's an hour long.
It's
Given that the last direct was a little over an hour and that had Mario's anniversary in it.
What's funny, like we just passed the 1 hour mark ourselves. So our hour of speculation is how long this direct is going to be. So the Argonaut says, I guess Nintendo's giving Sakurai 60 minutes of game, LOL. Yeah, almost 2 hours worth of game now. I mean, collectively
Yeah.
these directs might be longer than, they're already longer than the original game, which is why again I'm thinking that there's more here. I mean, ignoring the achievements and stuff, but that's why I'm thinking there has to be that story mode here. That teaser wasn't there for no reason, So Uzo says, my prediction: Kirby Free Roam, like Mario Kart World. Kirby Free Roam. We talked about it a little bit. We
Yeah,
don't
we
think they're
did.
going to go full free roam, but I do think there could be like that hub element, with that desert setting they showed off. So, all right. Mantra says, I just hope the direct doesn't have much filler. Same here. The biggest
I
fear,
agree.
that's another Mario Kart World direct. I love Mario Kart World. We did not need that last direct though. Like that was a complete waste. It told us like 3 tiny things we didn't know before, and otherwise it was all stuff we knew.
I think the biggest thing was the reverse that we found out that you can like you hold the down button and you can reverse in single player, like do the rewind feature. I think that
Oh,
was
right,
really
yeah.
it that we saw. Like you said, there was maybe 1 or 2 other things on top of that.
Yeah, it was nothing. So I'm really hoping this isn't the case. So Sakurai, don't let us down because I don't want to be disappointed here. Sounds good, user. Yeah, we're about done here too. So yeah, Nick, any final words for our audience?
I'm excited. I'm optimistic about this direct. Again, we've seen some other directs in
Yeah.
the past where they're just like, okay, that could have been just like an email or something so short. But again, my biggest hopes are story mode. I hope there's a lot more characters. I hope there's new game modes that we haven't seen yet. But yeah, I'm excited for it, and we're gonna be streaming it this Thursday.
Yeah, we'll be
First
there.
thing in the morning.
6 a.m. Pacific time, luckily, which is 8 a.m. my time. It sucks for those on the West Coast, though.
Yeah.
We'll probably be starting an hour early, so you get to hear even more of our speculation, so get ready for that. Connor, your message is not coming through, so I don't know if you're attaching a link or something. It's being caught by the filter. I'm not
seeing it either.
You've got seconds at this point to get your message to us if you want us to read it, because we're about done here. But yeah, hey, someone did mention game chat being a component. That would be cool. I do hope that they have like for when you're playing with a friend lobby at least, allow you to do a game chat session. You can have like little friend icons. Oh, that brings up another good point. Will they address how busy that HUD is? At least in City Trial, like, there's icons everywhere.
Oh, there's icons everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if they addressed that. Maybe he took that into account from last time, because even when you were playing, it seemed like there was too much, right, on the screen.
It definitely a lot going on. It wasn't as bad as I thought it might have been, or as people were making out to be, at least, but it still is a very busy HUD. And the interesting thing is, the game has been, people have been playing it now for, I think, 2 months at this point, so Sakurai has had time to address some of that feedback if he's wanted to, so, which is kind of cool. That's something that doesn't happen too often, for like a online multiplayer game, at least that doesn't have like a public beta or something.
And from Nintendo too.
Here's another one. I predict, I didn't even think about this, I don't know how we forgot this. There will be a demo of this game made available. They will have the play session. Yeah.
No, I was thinking the same exact thing too. I don't know who I was talking about. Maybe I was talking to Natalie. I was like, oh, I think there's going to be a demo afterwards for this, or maybe shortly after, where they have it for like a weekend, a playtest weekend or something. I can see it for this for sure.
1,000%. 1,000%. This is the kind of game that I think could definitely use it. Even though it's Kirby and he has a pretty big IP recognition, I still think Air Riders is kind of like a more niche take on it. I love it myself, but I think if you want to get people hooked on this game, you got to put it out there. And they already have the demo, Nick. Like, this game is fully playable. Like, they already have the perfect system for it. It just wasn't online then. Just make it online now, and there you go. Let's play around at the City Trial and for a couple hours, and I think you'll get people addicted to it.
If they do that, Andre, it's going to be the worst thing. It's going to be like, oh, you have to play at like 1 o'clock in the morning until like 3 o'clock. It's going to be in spans of 2 or 3 hours.
Right. Like what was it called?
Drag X
Drive. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
those were at some really annoying times. Let's see here. Sketches of Harmony says epic yarn mode, LOL. Yeah, fat chance. Nice try. That's not happening. I don't think had they even referenced epic yarn since that game? Not really.
I don't think so. Yeah. I think it was kind of like one and done.
You know why? Because it's not even a Kirby game, Nick. I'm going.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It wasn't supposed to be a Kirby game.
Exactly, and it still isn't a Kirby game. I don't care. I don't care if it's Kirby in the name. It's not a Kirby game. All right, I'm getting hungry now, but I've not had the chance to eat breakfast. Nick, I was literally at the McDonald's drive-thru getting my dollar coffee when I saw the news that they're announcing a direct. I'm like, frick, why'd they announce it now? So I rushed home, did the video, immediately hopped into this stream with you, basically. Yeah. And now I'm hungry. I need to get food. So, yeah, sorry, Connor, it's not coming through. But chat, that's all of our thoughts on Kirby Air Riders Direct. Hopefully you enjoyed our predictions, which are about as long as the actual Direct itself. It'll be fun to see what Sakurai actually has to say on Thursday, because I hope there's some big stuff there. Single player, more options, online stuff like For Glory. Tell us everything you have to show, and I hope he will. And I hope it's just not more of the same, more Sakurai just playing Sage Trial over and over and over. So, but and again, especially Nick, because we are in the post this game being played world. People have played this game, right? There's tons of footage of this game out there, including on our own channel. They really do need to show off more of what's there. But then again, Mario Kart World had the exact same thing. People have played the game, and they showed more of the game, or barely more of the game. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And everyone, thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be here on Thursday morning, Nick and myself at the least, talking about this game. Hopefully playing it soon after they do a demo, so we'll see. Because the game's out in just over a month, and that demo could be a great way of filling that time. But yeah, that's everyone. Yeah, thanks for watching. Click subscribe if you haven't already. In fact, let me do one more thing real quick. Let me get you guys a Discord link. Wait, are we still on the screen? Yeah, I think we are. Didn't screw anything up?
No, we're still live.
Perfect. Yeah, just make sure I didn't screw anything up. Let me get you guys a Discord link for our newer Discord that we opened up a few months ago for anyone who wants to join. And this will be pointless if I post this as a separate VOD later, but here it is, the GX Discord, and there you go, everyone, if you want to join that. Let me make sure that was the right link.
I'm checking too.
Oh crap, no it isn't. Oh crap, ignore that link. Ignore that, that is not it, that is not it. Remove. I totally screwed that up, oh my goodness. Let's see.
I
Hopefully
try the next one.
Yeah, I think. Wait, did I get the right one? Maybe I did get the right one. I don't know.
Here, send it to me first.
Hold on. Let me. This is always. Discord should make this way easier to get. I find it confusing. Anyways, here is the new link. That might have been to the this is for the staff Discord, so I gotta fix that. Anyways, that's it, everyone. Thanks for watching. Join the actual Discord link, and we'll catch you later. Bye, everyone.
See ya.